Hey McBeauties, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Mackenzie, and in this video today I'm going to give you guys an inside scoop at how I lash map all of my sets. Alright, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is why I lash map, like why I draw it out. I'm a very visual learner, or I have to like have it like written down in front of me. Like when I do my to-do list and stuff, I need to like physically write it down. In like school when I was learning, I had to like write on the whiteboard. I had to like write it. I can't just like have it all in my head. I like having a clear path of where I'm going. That way I know where I'm going. It helps me better to visualize if I draw it out first. So that is why I map. All right guys, let's jump right into it. So when I am mapping out a set, well, let me backtrack a little bit. When someone books an appointment with me, they get a confirmation email, and in that confirmation email, they receive a waiver form that they need to sign, electronically sign, and also a consultation form that they need to read over and fill out before they come see me. With the consultation form, I include questions like, what kind of set are you looking for? What overall effect do you want to give? If they have a certain shape in mind that they like, or how thick and full they want it, or if they want it on the lighter side. It's like a little questionnaire, maybe like 10 or so questions that I send out with the confirmation email. That way, before their appointment, I'm able to look at it, and then I can go ahead and map out or get an idea of what kind of set they want, and either map it out before they get to me, or once I see them and I tape them up and I'm waiting for the primer to dry, then I'll map them out then. So when I am mapping out a set, this is how I start. The eye curvature. And let's say, for example, we're going to be doing a open eye set, right? Okay, let's do open eye. So I'm going to take a marker. I'm gonna draw some lines. Sorry, my lines are gonna be kind of weird, but you'll get the idea. So I took my marker and I drew some lines. With the open eye, you like the middle to be the longest part here. So when their eyes open, it brings out the middle of the eye, makes it the appearance makes it bigger, right, in the middle. So I want the longest lengths I use to be in the middle. Now let's say they want to do wispy, right? So what I like to do is I will draw another line here, because with my wispy looks, I like to use two different lengths in each section, a long and a short. So let's say they want to do average length. We'll just pick like a random length, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a pen and take a different color, and I will write out my first lengths that I want to use. Now, when I'm writing out the lengths that I like to use, I am basing it off of the natural lash that the client has. You can't put a really long lash on a really short lash, because that can be damaging to their natural lash. So you always want to go based off of the length of their natural lash for what length you will be putting on them. Yeah, I like to draw in my longest lengths that I'll be using first. So as you can see right here, I put 13 in the middle, because that's going to be the longest, and then 12 and 12 on the outsides. Now, you know what I do too? I write in the curl that I'm going to be using. All right, so we can see here, the first layer is going to be 12D here, 13D in the middle, and 12D on the outside. So when somebody comes in to me and they want to do a wispy look, right, I already immediately know that in my mind, I need to make a 3 millimeter or more difference in length when I'm lashing to create the wispy gaps in between. So it's not just all one dense look when you're looking at the lash line when the eye is open. You want to have different lengths. So they're like, it's not all just like one like block of lash. It's not just one like straight, it's not like a straight line look. You want to have the different lengths, that way you get the overall wispiness effect. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to map in the shorter length that I'm going to use. And then like I said, I like to do 3 or more millimeter difference when I'm doing my wispy looks. Okay, so here you can see I have now mapped out my shorter lengths here. It's going to be 9D+, 10D+, and then 9D+. Now, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that the way I do it is the correct way. Everyone lashes differently, and that's what makes everyone's sets unique. and each lash artist unique. No lash artist is the same, which is good. You want to be able to be creative, be able to stand out. This is just kind of like a base of how I like to do mine. So yes, I typically like to mix D's and D pluses for my wispy looks. Now, when you're looking at this here, right, and it's saying these 2 different lengths in this section, these 2 different lengths in this section, and then same for this one, it's a mixture of each of those lengths within each section. Get it? All right, let's move on to like a cat eye. So with a cat eye, we're gonna start with the same curve here. My client, for her cat eye, she wants a super dramatic cat eye, so super short, like super dramatic. When her eyes are open, the end just like flings out. So she wants a super dramatic cat eye, but not wispy, right? So let me get into how I would do that. Okay, so I have these sections here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections here, right? So she said she wanted it super dramatic, and we are going to do not wispy. Super dramatic, not wispy. So I'm gonna start mapping out my lengths here. Okay, so here I have a cat eye example map. I have the 5 different sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're gonna go over it. So I have 9 and 10D here on the inner to like maybe like right before half of the eye, and those I have in D curl. You'll notice here on the outsides, I'm using D plus in 12 and 13. So that way when you're looking straight ahead, the D plus curl, right, is more curled than the D. So it'll really bring up that outer corner, giving the more cat eye like flick at the end. And then here at the very, very end corner of the eye, I went in with a 10D because you want to bring that side back in so it's not flapping around back there with that extra long length. Now, with this one, because she did not want wispy, like with my open eye with the 2 different layers, I'm only going to be using 1 length in each of those sections to really make it dense and make that cat eye really thick and dense and pop better. Are we learning something, you guys? I hope this is helping. This is how I do it. With lashing, there's no right or wrong way to map. You get to be able to pull so much creativity out of your brain and be able to put it onto somebody. It might be kind of hard in the beginning when you're wanting to try out a new style, like perfecting like your wispies or even trying out spikes. A good way to practice is to get those little like sponges, these kind of makeup sponges, and try the style out on these. Or if you have a super loyal client who's like down to do whatever kind of look you're trying to do, the only way you're gonna get better at the styles you're trying to perfect is if you practice. And I think that writing it down, like I said, I'm a visual learner, so being able to like see exactly how I'm gonna map it out and see the path that I'm gonna go, it definitely helps when I'm like trying to create those really intricate, spiky type sets. And the great thing about mapping out your sets is so that when you keep track of your clients and what kind of sets you give them, you already have it drawn out exactly what you gave them. So when they come in for their fill, you know exactly what they had, and if they want to do the exact same thing, you have it written down already. It does get a little hard to keep track of all of your clients in your mind. I mean, unless you're just like photographic memory, but I keep track of all my clients and I write down all of their maps. That way I know exactly what set they had before in case they want to make any minor changes or want to change the entire thing overall. So I hope this video helped you guys out a little bit. It kind of went a little quicker than I thought. In my mind when I was talking it out, it lasted a lot longer. Let me know down below if you guys have any questions on styling or mapping or anything else, and I will get to those questions for you guys. Some important things before I end this little mapping video is my top 3 rules for mapping. 1, do not be afraid to try out new things. Don't be afraid to mix curls, mix lengths, be dramatic with the length change. Don't be afraid to try it. Number 2, practice it. If you're not confident enough to do it on somebody, but you have that thought in your mind of how you want it to go or what it to look like, try it out. Use the makeup sponge so that way you can visually see how it's gonna look before you put it on somebody. And the number 1 thing, you guys, is make sure you are having fun when you do it. Don't stress yourself out because you see all these sets from other lash artists on Instagram and you can't figure it out. They all started the same place I did. I had no idea what I was doing. None when it came to styling. But what really helped me was when I practiced writing out the maps, definitely helped, and not being afraid to ask questions or reach out if you need help. All right, guys, if you guys aren't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. And if you're not already following me on Instagram, I'll drop that name right here down below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.